Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your tarot card reading for September 2023. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. So these tarot card readings you can watch for either your sun, moon, or rising sign, depending on whichever resonates with you the most. If you are here for love specifically, you are also welcome to check out your Venus sign as well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your September 2023 tarot card reading. So let's go ahead and get started with a card from my intuitive deck to open up this channel today. Let's see. Okay, if you have been feeling like you've been on the merry-go-round, going round and round and round again, maybe not seeing a lot of results, not necessarily feeling that motivation to push you into the next thing or the next chapter, whatever you want to refer to it as, I actually feel like that's going to slowly start changing over the next few months through Virgo, Libra, and then eventually Scorpio seasons. And it's starting now. Okay, we're already in Virgo, and there's a lot of fluctuation that happens during this time. And there's also a lot of kind of self-determination as well, saying, I don't want to be that way anymore. I don't like this circumstance anymore. I don't want to have that anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. And a lot of the motivation is really coming from what we don't want rather than maybe what we do, because some of us that still may be a little unclear. But I think Scorpio is going to start making some really, really good decisions over the next few weeks in terms of cleaning up situations, cleaning up their lives a little bit, and just kind of getting things on a track. Now, it's not necessarily like a pedal to the metal situation. I think this is very relaxed. It's free, like it makes you feel free and liberated. It's not rigid. It's not confining in any way. It's liberating, okay? And it makes you feel, I think, more excited about what's to come. And don't be afraid to slow down a bit. Don't be afraid to pump the brakes if you need to. I feel like there's a lot of magic in the air right now, and there often is, by the way, this time of year. It's a very magical time of year. It's similar to like a Pisces, Aries season transition when we move over that equinox point. And a lot can change. So be open to the opportunities, be open to the shifts and changes, and see what else comes out. But I really, really love this card to start with. So we are going to use an oracle card this month for what is it that the universe needs from Scorpio this month, using an animal spirit. Watch your words. Okay, now this can apply to the way you speak to others, but I think it especially applies to the way you speak to yourself. It's both, but really, really to yourself, especially with this Mercury retrograde in Virgo, because if you get on any kind of a negative narrative track, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready, it's not for me, I'm not the type of person that can have that. If you get along that train of thought, it's going to be very difficult for you to make the right changes that are needing to be made. This is probably not the best time to be critical of anyone else. Not that it ever really is a good time for that, but I'd be especially careful of projecting right now. Virgo is one of those signs, that really commonly projects outward. And usually when we do find ourselves criticizing another person, it's usually a kind of a more self-focused type of thing. So what is it that you really say to yourself? How do you command yourself? Are you really in control of your body? Because a lot of times the words translate into action. And if you're sitting there saying, I can't do it, well, then probably your body's not going to get up and move. And then you really won't do it. So if you want to give yourself a chance, you have to be communicating with yourself the right way. Okay, so what is it in the environment that Scorpio needs to be aware of here? Throughout the month of September, we have, communication is key. Well, there you go. There's a lot of communication coming out in your reading. So keep your eye on that. How are you talking to people? How are you talking to yourself? If it does have to do with other people, keep it as productive as you possibly can. If there are needs that you have that are not currently being met, it would be imperative for you to effectively communicate those needs. Right now, the astrology is not, it's not like this overly emotional situation, okay? The astrology is more stoic. It's more kind of logical to a degree. It's whimsical, but still it's grounded. And I think with a Mercury retrograde, there's an ability to really just say what you really need to say in full. It's not, of course, if you are omitting truth or you're not admitting truth to yourself and therefore you can't communicate it to another person, it can be highly problematic. So if you're going to talk, if you're going to have a conversation, if you're going to express your needs, make sure you are truly clear in what it is you need to say. Because communication can be the very thing that gets you everything you want. It's like sometimes people don't know what you need and they don't even know to ask. And so that need can just go unmet for a really, really long time. You know, so it's not, I think it's highly effective for you to speak up. And this can be in all types of settings: romantic, professional, platonic, children, all of the things. So let's see what comes out in the 9-card block for Scorpio. I think Scorpio kind of likes this type of environment where it can sense powerful changes on the horizon. Oh, hold on. I'll grab this bottom one here. 2 of coins. All right. Yeah, I think you do like it. I think you thrive in this type of environment, just so long as you're not sticking to your guns only out of principle. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes that's not a good thing, right? If we're only doing something out of principle, as maybe not necessarily what we really want or what we truly believe, it's probably best to let it go, okay? I look at the Page of Swords and I'm seeing high degrees of malleability. Okay, the Page of Swords is always willing to learn more. There's a really open-mindedness that comes through here as well. There's a curiosity too. And I like the quality of curiosity. I don't think that's something I've seen with the readings yet, but I like it for you because when we get curious about what could happen if I change this, what could happen if I make that decision, what could happen if I take that risk or make that new investment, when we start thinking along those lines and we start talking to ourselves in that way, so much can transpire from that. Now again, Temperance, this is not really that emotional. I think with Venus, the whole Venus retrograde thing, and I know in the beginning of September, okay, she's stationing direct, but for the rest of September, she is going to be in her post-shadow phase. So we still have a lot of the Venus retrograde themes available and, at the forefront of how we're operating. And a huge part of that Venus retrograde was really about what do you truly value? What's the most important to you? And I think we kind of know. We know what's important. And when we know what's important, there's no need to get really emotional about anything. We can have emotions, sure, but we're not making emotional decisions. We're not making decisions from trauma places or from wounded places or from pain places. All right, we're making decisions from a what's best for my future type of place. And Temperance is so beautiful for that because it's clear, and it doesn't have to be big. I'm not suggesting this for anyone really making huge life-changing decisions. If you are in that place, then that's fine, but I think you're a little bit of the exception there. I think a lot of people are making these decisions in small ways with the Virgo umbrella. It's about waking up and making the right choices for today, right? Making the right time spending habits, right? Are you on your phone, or are you exercising, or are you eating properly for what your body needs? Are you, spending time with the right people? Are you consuming the right types of things? Are you learning things? Are you developing things? Like, what is it you're doing? And are the things that you're doing truly conducive to these values that you claim are so important to you? And it's very black and white, and there's no arguing there. And with the Two of Coins, there are things that need to be prioritized over others, and maybe those priorities are actually changing. That's what I mean, like the flexibility and the malleability here. If you have felt like you've been on the merry-go-round a little bit and you haven't seen a ton of progress, this is that moment where you start to break off of the merry-go-round, but it's going to happen in kind of a boring way. It's not going to be some exciting, massive life event kind of way. For most of you anyway. Maybe again, there may be a few exceptions to that, but generally speaking, it's going to happen just by choosing what you choose today, and that's it. And even though it is a more transient time, or transitionary time, I guess I should rather say, it doesn't mean you stop showing up. This is not about being lazy, all right? So when you are doing things, you still want to put your best foot forward and make sure you're doing a really good job, and make sure that you understand that what you're doing is a reflection of you. And there is a quality of self-respect here as well, especially with watch your words, right? To be a person of self-respect means you would never say anything negative about yourself or others, and you don't put anything down. All right, let's see what else comes out here for Scorpio. Scorpio for September. I'm not surprised by the Eight of Coins in the least. Okay. See what I mean? This is just not, and maybe this is a very welcome thing for many of you, where it's just kind of easy. Virgo season can be really easy. We've got Mars in the 12th house as well. Sun will come into the 12th house later on in September. So the 12th house component is, it's present, and it really is withdrawn. And I feel like this is a fantastic opportunity for you to work on the things you actually want to work on. Eight of Coins is kind of like a passion project or a hobby or something that you're trying to get going, or something you genuinely care about. It could be your actual livelihood, like your actual job, and it may not be. But wherever it is, this is what you should be doing. And of course, you can still go to work. I'm not saying don't go to work. Go to work, come home, do the things you love to do. This has the potential to replace the things you don't like. If you want. Now, sometimes people like to keep their passions and hobbies separate, because then it can always be fun. It can always be a nice escape. But if you are truly seeking a change in your life and you're trying to get off this merry-go-round, this may be an outlet. And what I see here with the Eight of Coins is significant focus. And especially with the Four of Cups, I don't see Scorpio getting distracted by all these shiny objects. I don't see people or places or things being able to deter you. This is not really the best time to be, you can have fun, obviously, spend time with your loved ones, relax, do whatever you need to do. But if it's something that is not really in line, because of course, when we're thinking about our vision boards and our ultimate life, friends and family and loved ones is often a huge part of that, friends and all that. So if you can incorporate that into your life now, well, that's great. Then you're living a part of your vision board. But if there are people that are demanding your time, or there are opportunities that come in that don't align, you're going to have to say no to those things. Now, I don't often see my Scorpios as being ones to be like, okay, fine, I'll do it, even though I really don't want to. I don't normally see my Scorpios doing too much of that. But this is just probably going to be one of those instances where you have to be really firm with the boundary, because you're protecting something, right? You're protecting your peace, you're protecting your own transition, and you're protecting your process and all of that. So you really, really don't want to just be taking just anything. You want to vet it. You want to make sure it feels right. You want to make sure everything lines up. And even in a more logical, analytical type of way, does it make sense on paper? Right? Because if it's some kind of an opportunity, but it's going to completely drown you financially, then it's probably not really that good of an opportunity, even though someone's really excited about it. So it's highly selective time. I wouldn't be surprised if Scorpio went full on hermit mode throughout Virgo season, and even Libra season as well. Wouldn't be surprised if you had to pull in a little bit. Okay, you can re-emerge in Scorpio season when we start getting all the Scorpio energy there. High Priestess is a beautiful card of kind of that knowingness. And I love Temperance with the Priestess because it feels soft. It doesn't feel agitated or nervous. It doesn't feel like your nervous system is all on edge all the time. Right? It just feels right. And I think you're going to know what feels right for you. And as you're readjusting your priorities and as you're out there learning and kind of opening yourself up, it's going to be kind of a no-brainer. You don't really have to think so much about all of this. It's just following the path of least resistance in a lot of ways. And it really is this Eight of Coins. Because there's no resistance here. There's nothing but flow, honestly, here. What else for Scorpio? The Lovers, Nine of Cups. Beautiful. See what happens when you make these types of choices, when you behave this way, and when you align yourself with the right people and you put yourself in the right places, doing the right things. Nine of Cups is your wishes come true. You get what you want. Your prayers are answered. I don't know how else to say it. But it really does. Now, it's funny because the Lovers card is actually the Gemini card. And we've got Watch Your Words, New Moon in Gemini, and now we have the Gemini Mercury card with the Lovers. So clearly communication is a theme that is pumping through even harder now. So you want to pay very close attention to how you are communicating. And pay close attention to what you're asking for. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want, even if the person that you're asking, because it's possible you may ask someone, hey, this is what I need. Can you give this to me? They may say no. Doesn't mean you're going to have what you want from the person or people or thing that you think it's going to come from. But if they say no, what that's doing is realigning you for the thing that will give you that or provide that, okay? This is not really about caring so much about the consequences so much as it is about caring about your state of being. And maybe that's one of the priorities. That's the value is your state of being in order? Is it a state of being in self-respect? Is it peaceful? Is it empowered? For some reason, I feel that this is such a truthful time for Scorpio. A lot of truth coming out. And that's maybe one of the choices is, do you really say the truth, the real truth, which can be really intimidating sometimes. The real, true, honest truth and the whole truth, omitting nothing, in spite of the way that maybe it makes you look or feel, or maybe it might hurt somebody else. But even if it does hurt someone else, even if it does hurt you, at least it's the truth. And decisions from that point can be made. The truth really is your absolute best friend to getting you what you want. And it's not a greedy thing, not like, give me power, money, or greed, right? It's not that. It's living a life that's close to spirit, close to God. And when I look at the Eight of Wands, it feels like it facilitates a lot too. If you want your life to be facilitated and you want to feel like you've finally caught a wave and you're finally on that upswing and finally capturing that growth, truth, communication is the key. Simplification is the key. Focus is the key. True prioritization. And keep in mind that the world is going to try to tell you over and over and over and over that you should be prioritizing certain things. But if you don't inherently feel that those are the important things for you right now, and you have to kind of go against the grain or go against the status quo, then so be it. This is not a time for Scorpio to be afraid to walk alone or to walk on the unbeaten path. Now, normally Scorpio is pretty good at that. I think you can handle the intensity of that pretty well. You're good at being underestimated. But this may be a time when you kind of need to do it. And there may also be some things with that High Priestess that you're working on privately behind closed doors too, especially with 11th and 12th house activity going on. It just may not be time for you to announce things publicly, and that's fine too. I kind of feel like there's a lot of different things happening here. Maybe it is going to be more of an eventful month, a lot of variety this month, a lot of different things to be thinking about. And I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. It's not so heavy-handed. It just feels like making small adjustments in a lot of different areas. But ultimately, here we have kind of a straight shot. This, to me, really speaks to getting off the merry-go-round here with this first card. Okay, so I really do love this for you. So let's go ahead and pull out the clarifiers. So we're going to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, and we're going to cover these in the comprehensive reading, and all the information on how to access that is in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and start pulling out cards. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards, and we usually get a lot more detail. So let's start with the Watch Your Words, Parrot Spirit. What is it that Scorpio needs to know? Okay. Beautiful. Super happy with those cards there. Emperor. Love it. And for the environment, okay. Another High Priestess card. Alrighty. So let's start with the other Page of Swords. What else does Scorpio need to know? 10 of Wands. 6 of Coins and the Moon. Ooh, Temperance on top of Temperance. Yeah, I just feel like you're really cool tempered right now with the Star. 5 of Wands and the Star. Knight of Wands. 6 of Cups. 2 of Cups, Knight of Coins, 4 of Coins, 9 of Wands, 2 of Wands, King of Swords. I love that King of Swords in the middle there with the Ace of Coins, Queen of Cups, another 8 of Wands and a 4 of Wands. For the Lovers, Death, and a Page of Wands, 6 of Swords. For the Nine of Cups, we have a 4 of Swords and another Lovers card. With a Devil card, 7 of Cups, 3 of Cups, and 6 of Wands. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. We will cover all of these. So thank you, Scorpio, for sharing this with me. You guys know I love you. Have an amazing September, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.